Aloha, guys. Welcome back to our YouTube channel and to our podcast. If you're out there in podcast world, this is Hawaii Real Estate, and I'm Derek Kokahashi. I'm a local real estate agent, team leader of Core Team Hawaii, sort of main star. Mahi might not like that, but it's main person on this YouTube channel, and dad, father, all of those things. Also, our Core Team Hawaii is brokered by EXP Realty. We come on every Tuesday and we reflect on questions that you've asked or hot topics in the world. So next week we'll actually talk about the rental law change that is from 30 to 90 days in the bill that in the law that was repealed and all that stuff. I'm going to prepare and talk a little bit about that next Tuesday. But for this week, we're going to reflect on your questions from last week's video, which is this video about the top 3 safest neighborhoods in Hawaii. And sorry, I say questions, but I really mean your comments. I want to make it a point to come on, and every Sunday on our YouTube channel, we drop a video. We call it a drop because we fancy ourselves as hip hop artists or something. We release, we publish a video about Hawaii real estate or Hawaii culture or something in that realm, because that's what we're all about on our YouTube channel. And we get all these comments, and I figured, we come on here every Tuesday to talk. We can only talk about market updates and rates and all that stuff so much before it gets entirely too boring, although we will most weeks give those updates as well. But yeah, we're going to bring up your questions and comments. So what I hope that does is it influences you to go watch the Sunday stuff. So if you're more of a Tuesday watcher and you don't watch Sunday as much, I feel like that's probably not the case. But probably more Sunday people who don't watch on Tuesdays or reflect on the lives on Tuesdays, right? But I'm hoping that it gets both people here on Tuesdays and on Sundays, and influences you to leave more comments. Comment. Even like and hit the bell, because that helps us. And I get it. Actually, I'm not subscribed to one YouTube channel, but I have my favorites, and I should gas them up by hitting the bell and subscribing. So do that for us, please. As always, go to coreteamhawaii.com here. Go to the very bottom, fill out this contact form. Sunday through Thursday, our assistant during most business hours is from about 10 to 7. Our assistant's there ready to call you as soon as you register on the site. Now, some people come in on Fridays and Saturdays as well, ask for a little bit of grace. Oftentimes, our assistant will pick it up on Fridays and Saturdays. Maybe one of our teammates do, maybe I do. But then sometimes things slip through the cracks. So response time may vary on 2 days of the week, Friday and Saturday, but Sunday through Thursday, we're on it like daggone it. Okay. Ken, do we have safe surveys? Okay, so we have some brags and stuff, excuse me, that will come up talking about, ourselves and how great we are. But let's go to a couple of these comments first. So from last Sunday's video, which was, we asked Google AI to talk about the 3 safest neighborhoods, or what are the safest neighborhoods on Oahu, and it gave this list of Diamond Head, Kahala, Hawaii Kai, Kailua, Mililani, Kapolei. Yeah, that's what it gave. Now, Kenji pointed out when I asked him in the video, what about like Haula Laie, where the Mormon church is kind of the center of the community? It's like, oh, I bet you that one probably should be up there, yeah? And then, take a place like Aiea. Aiea, like, if you go only Mauka Aiea, or in the mountains Aiea, probably pretty safe too, I would think. But then you go a little bit more Makai Aiea. So if you were to divide that hot dog instead of hamburger, if you take off Palisades, just go from like Manana, Momilani area to Aiea and cut it hot dog style, Mauka and Makai. That's probably up there too. But that's not how the neighborhoods work, so that's not what we're doing. All right, first couple of comments. I love your sarcasm about parking in Mililani Rec Center. The video is about the safest neighborhoods. Mililani, these rec centers are like the epitome of librarians, like the level of like rule following and stuff, just trying to get through is it's interesting. I don't know. It's definitely not I don't know. The energy is just strong. And the lady told me I can't park there, and I feel like there was sort of this implication that I don't even know if you live here, so I gave her my name, and we were able to park, and I used the bathroom and dealt with it. But it was unfair to her. She's a nice lady, and she's just doing her job. I am the butthole. Great video as always. Mahalo. I'm chilling for a few weeks with the boyfriend who lives in Makaha. I don't feel unsafe. I will say that I do really like Haleiwa Wailua for the village feel. Practically speaking, I find Mililani great. My boyfriend loves Makaha though for the sun and the more solitude feeling. Well, I bet you're in the valley or near the beach. I bet you're not on like Lahaina Street or something like that. But I also appreciate the perspective in the comment. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go to cheese ravioli and then we're going to switch it up a little bit. And leave your comments and questions here too, because we want to either get back to your comments and questions from the last live, or we want to go, obviously respond to you here in real time. So also, if you press like and you're watching, then what it does to the algorithm is it influences, like the algorithm will maybe pop it up on Kenji's feed when he logs in and Kenny's. And so hit like on this one and say hi or something for me, please. All right, one more. Cheese ravioli. Weird. I was over in Kailua yesterday and shocked by the amount of transient homeless tweakers. Coming from Hawaii Kai felt way less safe. Yeah, Hawaii Kai is just less of that beach bum vibe. It's more of a marina vibe. And so there are going to be less, in your words, not mine, transient homeless tweakers. But interesting, right? That Kailua would come up sort of carte blanche. Is it carte blanche? Carte blanche? Carte blanche? As a blanket statement of like the like a safe neighborhood. It's just an elite sort of high-end neighborhood. But you're right. It is a transient tourist trap with a beach bum sort of, whether it be Pensacola Beach or Jersey Shore or Manhattan Beach in LA or what it has that, or Oceanside. It has a little bit of a beach vibe, which can also attract the 58-year-old dude on a bike because he had 2-3 DUIs, just biking to get a cold pack of beer, 2 Mickey's 40s, like Kailua get that kind of things, right? And so astute observation by Cheese Ravioli as he contrasted to Hawaii Kai. But in the video, we contrast it to like Kapolei and stuff too, because Kapolei made the list. But some people might be like, what? That's asinine. Or some people might have an experience of, yeah, Kapolei is just like, the American neighborhood I came from in East Lake in San Diego. So it just depends. I don't know why my accent did that. Do we have any live comments?
Soy sauce
Question.
boss.
Soy sauce boss. Always count on you, my brother or my sister. I imagine my brother. Let's go to our safe surveys. All right. So first one, Kenny from Robert. I talk to Kenny pretty regularly. He's outstanding and a great guy. I love working with Kenny. That's the thing. Working with our team, everyone's great in their own way. And Kenny is gonna make sure to follow up with you, and you're never gonna feel like you're in it alone. All right. Next one, I will go to also on Kenny. This is from Elea. He's fantastic. We had nice phone calls. He really works in finding what I'm looking for and gave me advice about the area. He seems very concerned about me walking on certain roads. He has a fantastic job of caring. Kenny is fantastic. He's there whenever I send a text or email. He responds. Everything is more than I could have asked for. All in Kenny, so I'm thrilled. That's awesome. Good job to Kenny. This one's on Mahe from Elisa. I'm very grateful, which I believe she texted me this morning. I'm very grateful to have found this wonderful agent and this great team. You know the thing about Elisa? If you can go back on me, Kenj. Elisa used to be an agent. She actually was an agent at a brokerage that teaches real estate at a above average level, and did some deals and stuff. And so to have a comment that the agent's great, the team's great, that's pretty cool. She used to be an agent. Richard, Mahe is amazing. She touches with us pretty regularly, and she's wonderful. Okay. All right. Enough about bragging with us. That's just, training. That's just messaging for you to go to coreteamhawaii.com here and go to the bottom and fill out the contact form for any real estate needs you have. Shout outs to Jason, who isn't even from here, has a friend here who needs to sell a house, who called in yesterday and gave us a referral to his friend. He checked with his friend. He said, I know you need to sell your house. You guys should probably sell with Derek then. And so, yeah, thanks, Jason, for that. I appreciate it. All right. Let's get back to some more questions, comments from Sunday's video. Aloha Spirit says, what about North Shore? I'm not going to put, I don't know. So granted, we didn't go over the crime stats, like per 100,000, how many violent crimes, because despite that would be interesting info, and that would be one way to approach the video. But despite what that may say, even if North Shore were low on that ratio list, I don't put North Shore. Would you put North Shore, Kenj, in your even top 5 safest?
Pupukea, maybe.
Because there's a hill and you kind get up. Yeah, but I mean like North Shore.
No.
Like call Eva Beach one thing. I know there's segments, but North Shore is one thing.
Absolutely not.
It's not on the top. Like just our local sentiment, it's not in the top 5, you know. Now, if you're talking cool factor or, you know, things of that nature, also in a way, if you're talking self-policing, North Shore might be number 1 in terms of, oh, I heard you messed with a young kid. The boy's going to find you and you're going on a fishing trip and never coming back. Like, yeah, North Shore has that, but it's too transient, hippie, live in the bushes, people there on some sort of life crisis or exploration. It's a unique place, North Shore. And so I would not put it on there. Galveston said 4th wives, LOL. I gave an and I prefaced, and I continue to preface that sometimes we make these exaggerated points through comparisons, analogies, etc., or just stories, and they're exaggerated, right? It's like you say San Francisco is this woke cesspool. Well, that's not all of San Francisco. Or you say Texas is this alt-right crazy place. Well, it's not all of Texas, right? And so, but sometimes it's helpful to be outrageous. You know, it could be helpful to be outrageous in a safe, you know, area that holds space for that, right? And so I talked about Hawaii Kai I just remember I was at this coffee shop and it's a mix, right? There's young people, there's tourists, there's people who live there. And I like going to this coffee shop. But I remember going up this one time and there were like 2, 3, 4, multiple different like people who just signaled sort of 4th wife, crazy wealth, just finished tennis or golf lessons, 20-year disparity in spousal age, pushing dog and stroller with just the the vibe, right? Leave me a comment if you know the vibe. And that's not everyone, because again, there's young people, there's local people, there's transplant people, there's all sorts of people at this coffee shop. I'm just commenting on the coffee shop. And but you know, you look at slight skews from averages, or you look at the outrageous points in an area. Like the person from Texas doesn't not want to move to San Francisco simply because of the normal nice people. Just like the person from San Francisco doesn't not want to move to Texas because of just the baseline people. It's the outer ends, the fringes that are interesting, right? And so I was making an interesting comment, and Galveston was picking up on it. This is a good one. Why is Kahala not on this list? I grew up in Kahala, and I thought it was normal. Well, unique stranger. Actually, before I'm going to read what AKM said in reply. Another list I read recently ranked Oahu neighborhoods on a scale from A to D. S was for superior at the very top. So S is like an A+. Kahala was an S, along with Diamond Head and Kuli'o'o. That's interesting because Kuli'o'o is its own thing. And the difference between these areas is the families that live in Kuli'o'o live in Kuli'o'o. A thing about Kahala, although it is sort of our Beverly Hills or our Presidio or our You ever been to New York, Ken?
Yeah.
What's like, Manhattan, the city, but what's like are there like single family homes in a little patch near Manhattan? Like 50, $60 million single family homes? Is that a thing?
If there is, I don't know about it.
Yeah, but if there were, that's our Kahala, right? Like you're near the city, but recently there was a $64 million sale, right? And so the reason why Kahala may not be on the list is similar to Kailua. There's a transient nature. Although I think Diamond Head area was on the list, so we probably could have mentioned Kahala. But the other thing is, there's a lot of absentee owners in Kahala. There's a lot of empty houses sitting there. We showed a house 2 weekends ago, and the house across the street looked like a self-storage. I didn't even notice it. But there's undeveloped land and just empty estates sitting. A lot of gates. Yeah, so of course the home is safe because it has its own gate. If per capita amount of homes that have their own, not gated community, but gate the house, kind of like an Atherton and the Silicon Valley area. If Atherton were by a beach, Kahala, yeah, it's, I guess point is it could easily be on the listing. You are right. The other point is it can be less. I think when people are looking for safe, sort of synonymous with that, they're looking for like communal, and Kahala is not that. And so I think that's why it didn't make it onto our video. Yeah. Honolulu Jazz Festin says Honolulu failed to make the recent 25 safest cities in America list. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that, like, what objective measure that list was made by. Was it violent crimes per population? And at what size was a city rated? So if we're talking the big cities, right? Like San Francisco, New York, Chicago, guarantee on average Honolulu, or what we say town, but Honolulu is safer, I would think. You go to more medium-sized cities like Austin, Denver, what else? Like, I guess San Diego is still pretty big. Austin, Denver, Phoenix, Houston, Dallas. Oh, some of those are big. Those are still big cities, but we might not be as safe as Dallas on average. But yeah, I don't know. I would be surprised. I'm just surprised that we're not on the list of the top 25. But if in the city thing, you have a city with a small population that's really spread out, like Knoxville, Tennessee, or something like like if that were on the list, then kind of hard to compare because we are a true dense city. So I think a lot of the 25 would be low population density areas, which typically make for less crime, right? So I don't know what your list was. I'm surprised to hear that it wasn't on the list, but thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. And yeah, keep commenting.
We got some from the live.
We got some from the live?
Yeah.
Can you bring it up or I bring them up?
I mean, I can just read them.
Read them, yeah. Okay, Ken's going to read your question.
Soy Sauce Boss says, I'm a dude, LOL. So then Eric Matsuda, hi, on average, how much do I need saved to begin thinking about purchasing a condo? And do you guys do anything with condos here?
Of course. Yeah, we sell a lot of condos. You know what's interesting? Thank you for that question, because we're in an interesting time where if you have the credit, the income, so basically you can qualify. There are some VA loans out there, some veterans selling their homes that will allow for an assumption of their home with and basically make it to where you have close to zero down. So you can assume a VA loan even as a non-veteran. So as a civilian with no, you don't have the required amount of service, etc., to have VA entitlement. You can assume someone else's VA loan if they will let you take up their entitlement. What's happening is some of these veterans are leaving and they're like, man, I'm in a bad place with this house. I bought it high. Now I'm selling low. I'm moving back to Texas. If I'm going to buy a home there, I could I'm potentially taking a $50,000 loss here. Over there, I only need a $30,000 down payment for the house I would get in the next 15 years anyway. And so I'm just gonna let you occupy my entitlement. Now, in general, I don't want veterans to find themselves in this position. However, it's happening at times. So potentially the answer could be zero if you qualify. A better, more evergreen answer would be you could go FHA at like 3 to 5%. There's also lower, less than 20% conventional loans. So it depends on the size of home. You know, like if you want a $500,000 home and you need 5% down, that's 25,000, right? And so it just depends. But I think you should do it. You know, you should do it. You should get a roommate and work an extra job and save up and then get into the market and then back off and breathe a little bit. Or, you know, everyone's situation is different, but you should definitely do it. Any more questions?
Yeah, we got Tropical Ding Dong.
This
What-
guy. I know that's
Yeah.
a guy. You don't have to tell me your pronouns, bro.
What's the read on the market softening at all? And then his follow-up question to that is I'm assuming, I bought Makaha in 2020 and I'm prioritizing home improvement / things I can do myself. I'm not sure if rent / sell, but what should I focus on for home improvements?
Okay, so rent versus sell, which I got that answer lined up. Home improvements, we can talk about that. You bought a Makaha in 2020, so that relates to the rent versus sell question. And what was the first part of it?
What's the read on the market?
What's the
Softening
read
at
on the
all?
market? Okay, so I'll go with my cliche once again. It's not timing the market. It's time in the market. And so who knows? The Fed actually meets tomorrow. So next week when we do our rental law update, it'll be a good time to check on how the market responded. Were the rate improvements too pre-baked in? So tomorrow we get an adjustment up. Do rates go down even further tomorrow? What, you know, jobs report versus CPI versus, is it relevant because inflation and jobs are different because they're tariff induced and the tariffs could be removed at any time. And it's so complex and it's so exhausting trying to predict the market, whether in the short term or long term. But long term, we can act principally. And long term, it doesn't matter if it's a Trump presidency or a Harris presidency. Principled long term investing doesn't change, but short term investing can, right? Short term financial decisions can change a lot. And so based on those things. And so I don't know if the market's going to go up or down. I can tell you that I just bought and I just bought. I put my money where my mouth is. That being said, I have a lot of debt out and I'm considering, rather than accumulating and leveraging and taking on more debt to plant more trees in my garden, I'm considering just focusing on the trees I have before starting like a cornfield, which would maybe be dollar cost averaging into the market and, you know, picking more investments, etc. I'm considering debt pay down. And so that's more of a safe sort of things are going to go bad play, right? Like if you know things are going to go good, you just take on more debt and more debt and more debt. That's the play. But I'm kind of starting to behave in a, well, what if? But that's just my tolerance. That's more my risk tolerance for debt than it is a forecast, if that makes sense. I don't know what the market's going to do. I wouldn't even try to predict it. I would make principle-based decisions that are based on like long-term principled decisions and outcomes, but pay attention to the short term. So it sounds like if you bought in 2020 and you're potentially making these improvements, you're maybe looking at like at a soonest, like next spring sort of decision. And whatever happens today with the Fed, you know, the Fed meeting tomorrow, it will not have mattered as much in March when you're potentially going to list, or in June of next year. And so, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. And generally speaking, I'm predicting up and to the right, which is why I just bought and put myself in a really exposed sort of position. Let's talk about you buying or selling versus holding. well, I'm a realtor and realtor associate technically, and I want to make money. So you should sell. You should sell with me. Just kidding. Obviously. In general, the principled approach is you want to keep monopoly pieces on the board. When we play Monopoly, I always use this, but I don't know the board well enough. Let me look at the board here. So when you play Monopoly, what's the junk purple ones?
The
The
red ones.
Leave me comments, guys. You guys know before I pull this up, like, what's the purple one here? Virginia Avenue. What's the lowest one? St. Charles.
No, by goal.
Oh shoot, yeah, no, the brown, yeah. You're right. I was Baltic and Mediterranean Avenue, the two brown ones on the Monopoly board. We got to get a Monopoly board in here. Maybe that's a good frame one in the back. Maybe that's a good thing since we've been meaning to. We got to spice up this room with some art and stuff, anyways. And so, even if you have Baltic Avenue, which in Hawaii, Makaha might be more of that. Maybe it is Vermont or St. Charles, but it is Makaha in general is usually not Park Place. You know what I'm saying? And so, even if you have one of the pieces that isn't going to make you rich, and when one person lands on it, you in general, if you're playing Monopoly, you would like to just have more pieces. But when would you sell a piece when you're playing Monopoly? You would sell a piece when you're going to trade for a better piece. You have better use for that money, that capital, that leverage, that debt, whatever it is. Like when you have better use for your resources, you can trade them up to the other colored pieces, then maybe you trade. But in an ideal world, you just stack them. And let's say you get to the end of the game and you just never had the opportunity to buy another piece. Whatever reason, statistically and probably not going to happen, but you just never landed on anything else that someone else didn't already own. You would have been better off for having something, the stuff even more on the left side of the board, right? So my shorter version is, principally, I want to keep Monopoly pieces. I want to keep real estate, even in Makaha, unless I have a better use. I'm going to trade up and do something else smart with it. Now, however, sometimes you play Monopoly and the school calls, you got to get your kid. And so you just give your pieces or you walk away from the board or whatever. Point being, that's maybe not the best analogy, but point being is sometimes you have to sell and you just have to sell. And that's what we're here for. If you just have to sell or it's just the right decision for you to sell, then that's why we are here. We want to get you the most money that we can possibly get you with the least amount of hassle and just do a great job. Do the best that the market can offer. Sometimes the market doesn't offer what you need or want at the time, and that's the market. That's not any agent's fault. But we want to do the best we can for you when you need to and should sell, and we'll help you make that decision. Don't sell and go on a cruise. Don't sell and buy a boat. That's what I'll say. Sell and have a plan. One of the more obvious good reasons to sell would be that you're moving. You have gains to realize. You have money to make, and there's a 2 out of the 5 year rule where per spouse you can take $250,000 tax deferred, and so that's an obvious reason. That's one of the better reasons or more common reasons someone would sell, because then you can take that money and put it somewhere else. But what's your interest rate at? What's your long-term play? What's the likelihood you want to come back here? Do we think Makaha on your street and in your neighborhood is a good place to keep real estate? Sometimes it might be better to just go buy turnkey in Alabama and have rentals, or, who knows? It's really individual to each person. And the last part of that, what should I fix up? From a pure investment standpoint, fix up paint, flooring, light fixtures, all on the way out. Don't live in that. Just fix it up at the end and sell it. But from I only have so many years on earth standpoint, maybe fix some stuff up, enjoy it. And that would usually be like paint is a big one. Flooring is a big one. Lighting is a big one. Refinishing tubs is a big one. Curb appeal and grass is a big one. And then we start to get into should I not? Should I replace cabinets? That's a big lift. It'd be nice, but it's expensive. Should I replace windows? Oftentimes nice, but you know. And then on the enjoying life thing, ACs, air conditioners might be a good thing. So it really just depends.
They followed up with, I don't know what the junk purple ones are, but they used my house for an article on gang violence and civil beat. And it's more of like, do I go from the green houses to the red houses, or do I buy maybe the orange one? I think we're on the Monopoly talk.
Well, it sounds like you in the brown one, if they use your house on civil beat. And yeah, I mean, principally, but here's the thing. If you're barely getting by on Baltic Avenue, you probably cannot just decide to buy Atlantic over here or North Carolina. It's not easy to I mean, if you have that kind of capital, then yeah, let's get you out of a place that civil beat's using for gang violence. I would email us that article. I'd like to see, or I could probably Google it. But yeah, if I could go from, if that's what this represents, if I could go from there to Pennsylvania Avenue, then I certainly would like to in generally speaking. But that's a big money decision. Like in Hawaii, we're talking about, say someone in 2020 bought a single family home in Makaha for $480,000. If it were early enough in 2020, or $500,000 or something on Lahaina or one of these streets. Pennsylvania Avenue probably represents at least a 1.8 million dollar house and somewhere else on the island. And so it's not necessarily that easy of a trade, because figure out Park Place and Boardwalk, we're talking above 5 million, right? And so the jump from Pennsylvania to Park Place and Boardwalk is a big jump. And so yeah, I'm north of 1.5 home. Like I don't know that that's just not, do you have that decision making power to just say I want to get out of Makaha and go to Kahala kind of thing? Usually that's not something that we're faced with as advisors in real estate. What other questions do we have?
Kevin Davis says, you mentioned that VA loans can be transferred. If we already own a place, do we have to live in that new property, or can I purchase for a rental property?
You cannot use your VA loan as an investment product. Now you can buy, live in it, and then move out and rent it. So that is a strategy in which you can use your VA loan to acquire multiple properties. You can buy with the VA loan, refi to conventional if rates and the debt service make sense, and then reuse your VA loan in its entirety. And so it just depends, but you cannot just say, I'm living in Pennsylvania Avenue, but I'm going to go use my VA loan to buy North Carolina Avenue and never live in North Carolina Avenue. You can't do that. So yeah, that's the answer to that. Any other questions?
Yeah, Eric Matsuda follow up. First of all, Baxter Max, hi, how you doing? What's up, Michael Lotta? Eric says, I have another question. Do you guys help going through the whole process in purchasing a condo from the beginning to the end?
100%. Yeah, 100%. We've done hundreds of condos, meaning 200 plus. I'm not sure. We've done, guarantee, I have to go back and look at my records. I guarantee we've done over 100. And so, yeah, we do. We do. And between our lender and our agents and everything, like we do an amazing job. So if you're looking to buy a condo, let us know. In fact, I have probably a condo or two coming up, but that's a pretty generic statement. Like we're talking condo in town, we're talking condo on the northeast side, condo in Makaha. Like it really varies. And so I specifically have someone who wants to sell a condo in Makaha. If you wanted it today, it could be a really unique pairing of needs. And so, yeah, let us know what you need. We'd love to do a buyer consult with you. get on a call with you and look at your purchasing power and your timing, and then potentially get on a consult and advise you and get started if that's what's going to be right for you and what you want. I'm going to go over a couple while Kenji queues up the next questions that you guys have here live. IAEA is safe, laugh out loud. I think they're mocking me. But I did say you have to divide IAEA into the safe and unsafe parts. And, it depends neighborhood, because they put Kapolei on, which is also a, kind of, neighborhood. Jason Troy on this from our Sunday video said, laugh out loud. Most neighborhoods are safe here. Even the bad neighborhoods can't compare and at all to the places I've seen and lived in the mainland. A lot of people say that, and we kind of say that too, but I never want to be salesy, right? And so there are people that are like, we're cautioning them about, you sure you down to live here? Like, you sure? Like, I just saying, they're like, you don't understand where I'm from. Like, here's a picture of my family back in East LA or back in whatever, Chicago or the South, and they were like, okay, you be all right. You'll be okay living around here. In fact, they may prefer it. It's all about community and meeting your neighbors, and safety comes with folks looking out for folks. I lived in Kahala for a while, and I felt less safe just because there was no community vibe. Yeah, perfect point that I made earlier. I appreciate it. Told cheese ravioli. That's a fair point. Your neighbors on both sides, you might be absentee neighbors in Kahala. You mean safest on Oahu, not Hawaii. Yeah, fair point. I mean, we do that sometimes, right? Oahu is the majority of the population. Oahu is the majority of the focus out there. And our channel is to bring in people from all over, and we do generalize. So, you called me out, and you're right. Seems like there are areas that are swelling with rep, and other Dems thought that was a mainland thing. I didn't know what they were saying, so I replied and said, I basically asked, like, what are you talking about? I think they're saying areas are swelling with Republicans. So, like, Republicans are growing. And Democrats thought that was a mainland thing. There were no Republicans in Hawaii. Is Spencer Green? I don't know what you're saying. But the red vote did turn out a lot more, and there seems to be a shade. I don't know. I'm not sure. The better question is, why would you live in Hawaii where the cost of living and homes are extremely expensive and jobs are limited? It's interesting I feel like this is something I would have a head nod affirming from Kenji in the back. We get all kinds of comments. People see a thing and it's positive or it's negative. What we can see in these comments a lot of times is someone's lens, just as much as we're seeing their words and their point. Fair to say, Kenji?
I mean, yep.
They
expose themselves.
Yeah, and so you're right. You're not wrong in multiple ways. Why would you live in Hawaii? Cost of living and homes are extremely expensive and jobs are limited. That's objectively pretty true. I mean, I bet you the data supports that. I know it does on the cost of living side. Homes are expensive. That's true too, on a nationally average. And then jobs being limited. I don't know. If you're great, you're great. You can get a job wherever you go. I'll go to Alaska right now and I'll find a job somewhere. I guarantee you. Or I'll go to Florida. I'll go to New York. I'll go to California. I'll go to Idaho. So Wyoming. And so if you're good, you're good. But also you're right, because that's your reality, Thomas Kim. If your reality is Hawaii sucks and why would you live there and you're dumb for living there, and look at my house in Arkansas, Texarkana. My house in Texarkana is $200,000 and I got a half an acre and my life's better. Then your life is better for you there. I'm not going to argue you on that. And then last comment for Sunday's video, someone watching says, which, I mean, tell me you're a bot. Nah, I don't know that he's a bot, but it looks like I don't know. Does it not look like a real person? Someone watching? Or just like maybe like a stock photo? Or bruh, someone watching, you just a handsome bugger with and you pull off the goatee and
that number letter combo at the end makes me suspicious.
Anytime I see number letter combos, I'm like, whatever. But this person says there's too many homeless people on Oahu. That's another issue that whether I don't know what our homeless rate per capita is compared to other places, if we're mid, if we're high, but certainly the optics and the anecdote and the feel is we do have a houseless problem on Oahu. So yeah, thank you for your comment. Yeah, all you guys, I appreciate all these comments. Even you want to come on and say, Derek, your bald head is stupid. Please comment that. I want that. I want that. You ever seen the video where he's in the store and this big guy's like, shut up before I kick your butt right now. And then the smaller guy, he's like, oh, we can do that. Yeah, I want that. He's like, I need that. I want that. Let's do it. Yeah. Like I welcome all kinds of comments. It's helpful to the channel. And I want the dialogue. I want to answer the hard questions. I want to answer the accusations. Well, bro, you guys just want to sell houses like we did last week, right? All you guys want to do is sell houses and bring it. I want to have a great conversation about these things, positive or negative. And then to like my guy Makaha, I just want to be able to help you. So
he followed up, by the way.
Yeah, what do you say?
He on a VA loan. Oh wait, we did that, yeah. Oh no, on a VA loan, 2.45%. It feels like the loan is so good it's hard to justify selling. We also did some big improvements, whole electrical, put on new lanai, then also did a block wall.
Yeah, sounds like it. I mean, if you feel more motivated and want to talk about it, we can be fair with each other's time, right? I'm not this agent who you come into my funnel and now I have all these sophisticated tactics to bother you until you sell, until I force you to sell and move you towards selling. I want in salespeople, I want to like catch them in contradictions. I want to be like, one person calls in, it's a great time to sell. Oh yeah, it's the best time to sell. It's a good time to buy. It's the best time to buy. Like as if those have no inverse relationship to one another. At the old place where I originally started out and like cut my teeth selling homes and stuff, they used to have a saying like, it's a great time to buy. It's a great time to sell. Like depends on which one you want to do. And I just was like, ugh. So anyways, my point is we can be respectful with each other's time. You can come in and say, hey, I'm the guy asking the Makaha questions on the live. Probably not selling, but if Derek wants, we want to have a chat whenever Derek has time. And next time I'm in Makaha or I'm planning to, be in your area, maybe we can chat. Maybe I'll just do a drive-by. We'll not put your address on this channel, so I'll protect your privacy, right? But just drive by, look, maybe we meet up in the off chance that you may sell. For me, that's a positive thing to do, especially if I'm in your area and have the time. Maybe you refer me to someone else. We always appreciate when you guys refer us or think about us when even others are looking to do real estate, right? And so point is we can respect each other's time. You can go register on coreteamhawaii.com here, scroll to the bottom, fill out that contact form. Charlotte will hit you up. You'll tell her you're the person from the live. We got one of those last week. He called right after the live. Tell her you're the person from the live, and I can talk to you about it. But yeah, 2.45% rate, bro, it'd be hard. It would be hard because another thing you want to look at here, you guys want to get technical with me? Did he say how much he bought for?
No.
Okay. I'm just gonna assume you
2020 though.
You bought for around 500,000. Or I could even put 600,000. So if you bought for probably wasn't 6 though. It's like 550. Let's split the difference. 550,000, a 30-year loan at 2.45%. And I'm going to change this to monthly schedule. So 2020, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And so that's end of year 5. I want to say you're somewhere around here. Month 64, let's say. So in month 64, you owe 479,000. Every time you make a payment, you are paying 980 in interest, but 1,178 in principal. So you have inverted. You're gonna switch to me. You've inverted, right? And so you're actually, instead of paying more in interest, then you pay, people say when you make your payment, only little goes to principal and all interest up front. We have that low interest rate, you've inverted. So the rate at which you're building your wealth each month. So someone else could have what's the monthly payment? Interest, 1,000, I don't know, whatever this payment is. Someone else could have the same payment on a home in Texas today at 6%, but the home's worth less. And what, they have the same payment.
495K.
495K. Okay, so I wasn't too far off. Someone else could have the same payment, but they're not building their wealth as fast as you because you're putting more towards principal. So if you were to say move out, get a renter in there, then each month, 1,200 is like my wealth built by 1,200 this month for renting this place that I decided not to sell after Derek was so honest and helpful with me, right? I don't tend to want to give up debt that I have that's growing my wealth that is being serviced at 2%, right? That generally you want to keep that monopoly piece, right? So let's say you bought what are these? Mediterranean Avenue, the lowest one on the board, but you bought it, like you got it for nothing. Let's say everyone else on this board is making payments on their house or they had to buy it for a lot. You got the thing for free. Like, it's easy to keep it. You have good reasons to keep it. The finances monthly work well for you to keep it. This isn't the exact same thing, but you've already inverted. You pay more in principal than interest. And that's a reason to potentially keep your house, man. Maybe you even, like, say you want to get out of the neighborhood, you go and you rent. Like, we make no commission. We don't even have to help you buy in Kapolei. Like, we don't even help you sell this and go move to Makakilo. We don't even make, I don't even get to make. But maybe it's the right thing for you to keep this thing at that percent, go rent, which is typically cheaper than if you were to buy the house in Kapolei and then stack up and save money. Maybe that's the right play for you. It just depends. A lot of things go into it. What I think I'm hearing from you is sort of, you want confirmation, because it sounds like you fixing your house, you take pride in it. Yeah, there's like some gang stuff around, but like you keep your bubble nice and maybe you keep it. But it doesn't matter what interest rate I'm at. It doesn't matter what the numbers look like. If my children are living where Civil Beat's doing gang articles, I'm moving. Maybe I keep it and rent it, but I'm probably moving. It just depends. I don't know. Maybe you're 60 single and a jacked jiu-jitsu champion. I don't know. And a good shot, you go to a gun range all the time. I don't know. What's up?
He says, bro, I'm going to win the game with Baltic Avenue. Woo.
yeah. I love it. You're a GOAT if you win the game with Baltic Avenue. Anything else in the comments?
He says, I never thought about it that way with the inversion. I just figure make the payments and figure it out later.
Yeah. How much are you putting towards your wealth? So now, let's say your payment is $2,200 a month. Would you rather have here's the problem, because most people don't think of it this way. Would you rather have a $1,500 a month payment for the same house, but it's interest only? Because I could actually get you to refi. You shouldn't do this. First of all, it's bad real estate advice. I'm just saying a what if, giving you a bad example. You could refi off of your 2.545%, go to an interest only loan, and your payment would go down from what you currently pay. But that's why I don't think of money in terms of payments. Think of money in terms of wealth. You don't necessarily want the lowest payment. You want the best wealth building. And so with almost $1,200 going towards principal, I'd rather have a $2,200 payment with $980 going to interest than a $1,500 payment that's interest only, right? And so you got a pretty good deal as long as you don't mind living in that area. So what else we got, Kenj?
We got Sir Charles says, Coasting in the building. Appreciate the content, brother.
Semper Pete.
And Tito Dawigel says, hoping to come back and buy on Oahu in the near future. Referencing Sunday's video, my wife grew up in Hawaii Kai, was super safe, definitely a marina vibe.
Okay.
And Michael Hume says, forget the houses, teach me to surf.
I've taught a lot of people to surf. Our home inspector, that most of our clients use, they can use it whoever they want. And I encourage you to pick whoever you want. But one of our home inspectors, I taught him how to surf, Charles. I pushed Charles into his first waves. Yeah. And taught our client's kid how to surf before. I'm down. I really enjoy that. My dad, like I enjoy that. I just don't have time. I can't teach everybody how to surf. Are we all caught up on those?
Yep.
Looks like it from here. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. A rare time where I get off before 12 and I can go join our other meeting where we're going over our escrow stuff with our assistant. Go in on the Sunday videos. When this coming Sunday video pops up, make sure to leave a comment so we can mention you, go over your questions, or shout you out when we go live on Tuesday. Make sure to hit a like, hit a comment on this. It helps us. I know you don't, right? Like you just don't. You watch 100 channels on YouTube, you might subscribe to one. Can you subscribe or at least hit the notification bell or hit a like or drop a comment on this one to gas us up? You know what? If you want, we'll talk to you about how so many real estate teams are down and the market is slow. Maybe we'll do that on a live. Leave me some comments if that's what you want to see in one of these weeks to come. And we'll talk about sort of the depression that is a lot of real estate. And I'll read you some of the sentiment from a very productive agent that I know about how people are just feeling the squeeze this year. And we felt some, but in general, we're doing well and better than most. But if you hit like and you comment and you gas us up and just give us that algorithmic little dose, it helps us. It helps Mahi's kids eat, helps Aiden flourish and his growing family, I guess you could say. It helps Kenny and his kids eat. It helps Kenji. Helps everybody. Like, hit us a like. Do I have to beg? All right. Tito Dawagel. You want to say Tito Dog? Huh? Yeah, good. Yeah, because Dawagel. Tito says mahalo, solid advice as always. Yep, thank you. Peace and thanks for the information. Josue Guerrena, sending aloha. Saw you at a school event in Mililani. You're taller than I thought. Josue, why don't you say? Did we chat? Oh no, are you the one that I gotta go check my emails. I forget if that's the guy that we stopped and we talked. Was it Josue? Anyways, I'm sorry if it is and I forget because I know that you emailed me and then I was like, oh, I usually don't check them. But then I texted that person. So this person saw me at the event. They emailed me, hey man, it was great to see you. And I just so happened to see it. So I responded, but I was like, hey, it's probably sounded pretentious, but I was like, I don't usually email. But then I went and texted, hey, it's nice to meet you too. So kind of move that chat into text. So, we could have a dialogue if they wanted to continue to. But yeah, guys, aloha. See you guys in the next one.